Today I'm working on the ZJ Gasser. Now you've seen this in a number of videos where it had the motor swapped, had the transmission swapped to a manual, cut in half, welded back together, and she's up and running again, but I have a few odds and ends to take care of, like loose wiring from when I took it out to shorten it. So I'm going to take care of that today. What I have never told you before about this car, because I wasn't allowed to, was this was in the 3K Hooptie Challenge. That is a show that they just released on Facebook. I wasn't allowed to talk about it until they released the show, so that's why I couldn't mention it. Hosted by David Freiberger and Brian Loans. It's a fantastic show. Go to Facebook and check that out. It's the 3K Hooptie Challenge. Now, I was in episode 4, the Truck and Van Madness, and came in second fastest in class. I did not beat a minivan, but I don't think anyone there was going to beat that minivan, at least not in that class. So I was real happy with it, and you should check it out. It's a good video. Either way, after that, I blew the motor up. You saw that in a previous video. And I've chopped it in half, and I've swapped the transmission and a bunch of other stuff. So odds and ends time, gonna finish this thing up. I have my zip ties. Gotta have that to go to the zip tie drags. I have my zip tie gun, autographed by Freiberger. So it's gotta work well, right? So let's get to work. Okay, I'm gonna have a quick zip tie moment here. Sorry for stealing the name. Sometimes it's hard to wrap a zip tie around when you only have holes on one surface. So here I have 2 holes. They're flush in the same panel. I want to stick it in one and have it come out the other. The trick is pre-bend your zip tie. Put a few bends in it, then you can fish it in one, wiggle it around until it pops out the other, and there you go. Zip tie installed on a flat panel. And this pops into our handy stickshiftZJ.com bracket. Click. All right. When I was working on the ZJ Gasser, I kept losing the fuel pump a few times. First time it happened, I changed the relay and it worked. So I thought it was a bad relay. And then the second time, I changed the relay again to the old relay and it worked again. So I couldn't figure out the problem, had to diagnose it. And what I did is I took apart my relay. They make special tools for diagnosing relays with test leads, but they come apart really easy. So what I did is I just went and operated the points manually to see if my fuel pump went on when I triggered it. You could also put a multimeter on here, test voltages and all that good stuff. You can see if it moves. But I found out it was not the relay that was a problem. It ended up being a connection. Go figure. But I found it out by taking apart my relay. And then once I found it was good, it's ready to install again. I'm here with another tech tip. This is my ZJ Gasser. I'm having a problem with the connection for the gas tank. It's pretty corroded, so it's a tiny little pin connector that I need to clean up. Now I don't have any little wire brushes that are small enough, especially to get inside the hole of the pin connector, but I came up with a little trick. What I did, I took a little piece of wire and chucked it up into a Dremel tool here. It's just regular stranded wire, small gauge. When you spin it, it expands and cleans out everything around it. So this could come in handy. So there's a Low Buck Garage tech tip. I've always wanted a car that had the engine size on the hood, but never had a good excuse. This is a good excuse, because as everyone knows, stickers make you faster. Just like the slot cars from the 80s I used to play with. Have you ever had one of those moments where you go to fix something that looks easy and you think, oh, I'll just check it out? Then you wish you hadn't? Well, I'm having one of those moments now. Popped off the valve cover on this thing. Now I mentioned this motor was seized before, and I did free it up by filling it with PB Blaster and just cranking on the harmonic balancer nut until it spun over. So it's not the best motor, but let me show you under the valve cover. Yeah, that's rust. Lots and lots and lots and lots of rust. Apparently this one was full of water at some point. I'm really not sure what I want to do here. I know this motor is full of rust, but I also know that I have the old motor that I hydrolocked sitting in an engine stand over there. This one runs fine, even with all the rust. But that one needs a rebuild no matter what, and then it can get more cam. Zip tie drags is a week away. So I think I'm going to leave this one in there for the zip tie drags and run it. If it blows, it blows, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Leave it at that. We're going to take it for a spin and see how it drives. Well, let's take it for a drive. This thing even just sits in traffic and idles nice. It's like a pleasant driving vehicle. Go figure. I can't bring myself to pull apart that motor. I love the 5-speed of this. That is awesome. Well, I'm about to embark on one of those potentially bad ideas. 2 days to go to the zip tie drags. I just installed a new module on the PCM, so we'll see if that actually increases the performance or completely kills the motor with 2 days to go. We'll find out. Runs. That's interesting. I just spent a half hour prying this stupid module out of my computer because it killed my ignition. Let's see if we have ignition again. We got ignition. It's running badly, but it's running.